Welcome to this VoiceWave AI review, tutorial, and demo. Thank you for choosing to watch AI copywriting tools. I use VoiceWave AI a lot more often than I thought I would, and they've only just recently added some really smashing new features. So, I wanted to let everyone know about the updates, especially while the lifetime deal is still on offer. And in case you're not familiar with VoiceWave, VoiceWave is an AI voice creation and text-to-speech audio generation platform. Within the VoiceWave AI dashboard, which is what we're looking at now, you can choose from a wide variety of voices, including stock voices, as well as voice clones that you create and voices that you design from simple text prompts, which is the new feature we'll be having a look at today. And if you fancy cloning or designing a voice, those buttons are right here next to where you can select which voice you want. With some of the voices, though not all of them, I'm sure they'll be introducing this feature to all voices at some point. You can select some intonation such as happy, neutral, sad, angry, and so on. Then we have the Generate button and the text input where you can bung in up to 5,000 characters. That seems to be an industry standard. It's the same amount that 11 Labs allows with their text-to-speech tool. And if you're trying to make, say, a video or podcast, then that might be a bit of a nuisance. But basically, you just need to copy and paste the text in one 5,000 character or less block at a time. And it really doesn't take that long. In fact, it can be better to do it in smaller chunks because that allows you to select different intonation for each chunk and to speed up or slow down the audio depending on what you're after. For example, I created this short bit of audio using one of my AI voices.
It's time for another update to this VoiceWave AI review and tutorial. Which features have been added? Get all the news here.
Anytime I have an audio clip on my timeline here, I can change the volume of it. I can go to the red button to delete it, or I can click on Tempo, and this allows me to slow it down or speed it up, and then I can preview the changes before applying them.
It's time for another update to this VoiceWave AI review.
I actually like that better a bit sped up. A lot of the time, it sounds a lot better and more natural if you speed it up or slow it down, depending on how quickly the voice is speaking. You can also upload audio if you want to work with audio in this editor, or you can cut an audio block wherever this cursor is. So if I set this here and I say cut, that'll turn this into two separate blocks that I can give different volumes or different tempos. I can delete tracks, change the duration of the track, and I can also alter the magnification. So if I want to get in closer, I slide this up. If I want to have more of a bird's eye view, I can slide it back. Over here on the right, we have the history panel, which just shows me everything I've generated recently. We have a background music library where you can add Creative Commons music. It looks like it's all by this chap, Kevin MacLeod, but I suppose he created a lot of Creative Commons music. And so you can use this in your content, and you shouldn't have any issues with that, as far as I know. And of course, you can also export it. That's what this big download button's for, and it's set to waveform download by default, but you can also change it to MP3 just by clicking if you prefer to download an MP3. I always download the WAV files because those tend to be higher quality, and since I'm likely going to edit them at least a little bit before I publish anything, I reckon it's better to get the higher quality version. The last thing for the dashboard here is that if we go to this toggle next to Simple and change it, and it goes to Conversation mode. And in Conversation mode, you can select multiple different voices. I'm not sure what the limit is, but you can certainly do up to 5 or 6. And you can put in audio that you want each of them to say, and then you can bulk generate all of the audio, and they'll all appear on different tracks up here. And then you can move them around or edit them or do whatever is necessary and export it all as one conversation file. Basically, you can create an entire podcast with multiple different AI voices right in this dashboard. I haven't had a chance to use conversation mode much yet. I'm going to be exploring this feature this week because I'm working on an animated video, which I don't have to use conversation mode for, but since there will be multiple speakers that I'm generating audio for, I might as well use it to get familiar with it. Let's go back to the simple mode for now, just so that we can quickly cover the left menu where we have the Get Started button. This just brings up a little pop-up that takes you through all the basics of how to use VoiceWave. It's got a quick start thing here, which will just show you how to quickly generate something and download it. Then it has pretty much a text-based version of everything that I just explained about the tools, and then the finding the right voice and voice cloning instructions definitely have some good points that are worth reading through. And this wave editor part is also really helpful because it'll help you understand exactly how the tools work properly. And then we have the history panel. Exporting audio and best practices is really helpful. When I first bought this product, this help section was much smaller, but it had the best practices. And just reading through these and understanding how to write my text so that the AI will say it properly and pronounce it the way I want it to has saved me a ton of time. So I definitely recommend going through this, as well as troubleshooting if you have any issues. And they have an email that you can use to get in touch with them if you need to contact support. If you want to nab the VoiceWave lifetime deal before it ends, you can use my affiliate link in the description below. It should take you right to this lifetime deal page, which currently looks like this. And then if you click on Get Lifetime Access, it'll scroll you right down to all the pricing options. I purchased the unlimited lifetime deal, but on the relaxed plan, instead of the standard plan. The only difference between standard and relaxed is explained as soon as you go to relaxed mode. Relaxed pricing is a little bit lower, and the reason it's a little bit lower is that during busy hours, your audio generations are placed in a secondary queue, which may result in them taking about 10% to 40% longer to generate. So it's only a little bit slower, and it's only during peak times when there are loads of people using the app. I went with Relaxed Unlimited because I wanted all of the features of Unlimited, but I figured I wouldn't need to generate a ton of audio really quickly in a time-sensitive way. So for me, there was almost no real reason to go with the standard pricing. So I just switched to Relaxed and saved about $70, which I truly appreciate. I would say for the amount that I paid for it, this product has already more than over-delivered. I've used it to create a number of character voices for different projects, but another thing that I've used it for is to clone my own voice. And sometimes if I'm editing a YouTube video and I don't have my microphone plugged in and I need to redo a piece of audio or add something in, then I just generate it using this, and it doesn't really sound noticeably different from the rest of the video. And I've also used it when I'm creating short-form content and I just want to add a quick voiceover somewhere. Sometimes, I don't want to plug my microphone in, get my whole audio recording setup together, open a different piece of software, and then record and edit the audio just so I can add it in. When I can just spend, like, 30 seconds generating it in VoiceWave, and then it's perfect and ready to go. Doesn't really require any editing most of the time. So it saved me a lot of time and bother just in little things like that. But I'm also just starting to work on some bigger and more interesting projects. For example, the short animated video that I mentioned. I'm also working on turning some of the fiction that I write into comic book-style panels that have audio or short scenes that have audio. And so not just VoiceWave, but especially the new voice design feature is going to be really, really useful for that. And I think all the other features are covered in my previous video, so let's just take a quick look at the design feature. Anytime I'm in the VoiceWave AI dashboard, I can just go to Design, and I can enter any prompt that I want to describe the type of voice here. It doesn't need to be a normal human-sounding voice. Actually, let's make a robot for this one. And you can enter the description of the voice here, or you can go to Surprise Me, and it'll write something for you. And you can select the language as well as the preview text that you want it to use.
Hello, this is a preview of your designed voice. What shall I say today?
All right, that one's not bad. I had to regenerate several times with the same prompt in order to get one that actually kind of sounds like a robot. So the AI is definitely more comfortable creating human-sounding voices. But if you use the right prompt and you give it a few tries, you can get something that you want. A couple of things I need to mention about this is that if you like this voice, even if you are not sure, but you like it a little bit, I recommend immediately saving it. So you put a name in here, we'll call this female robot, and then you hit Save Voice, and that will save it to your custom voices. And the reason I'm saying this is because if you change this at all, or if you change anything up here, once you've generated the voice, you will lose the ability to save the voice. It's probably just a detail that they overlooked. But another thing that you can do is when you have this little audio clip here. First of all, I recommend making the preview text a little bit longer. Make it so that it's at least 5 or 6 seconds long. And then once you have this, you can download it in case you want to use it as a voice print for a clone later. Or you can go to playback speed if you want to see what it sounds like at a different speed. Or if you want to download it just in case, you can do those things right here. And other than that, for now, just make sure that if you like the voice, you don't change anything up here, and you hit save after giving it a name. And I'm sure that they will address this issue. It's probably just a little bug that they overlooked. But for now, I will save this voice. And now I have my female robot voice down here. Let's just see if we can create a masculine robot voice. It took me a few tries and a number of different prompts to get a male-sounding robotic voice, but I did get a couple of other interesting voices that I liked along the way, including a second female-sounding robotic voice. So now I've switched over to the Conversation tab, and I'll generate all three of them saying the same thing, and we can have a listen and see which one sounds the best. And for some reason, it currently generates them all on one track, but it's really easy to just drag this one down to track 1, and it'll always have one empty track. So I can drag this one down to track 2, and it adds a third track, and so on. And I guess I should stack these out like this, and now we can listen to all of them.
Welcome to the world of AI-powered content creation. When you use the right prompts with the right tools, your creativity and your potential may multiply.
The world of AI-powered content creation.
When you use the right prompts with the right tools,
Your creativity and your potential may multiply.
We had the first one that I made, and then the second one that I made. I think that this one sounds a little bit more robotic. I find the first one a little bit easier on the ears, but the second one I think would be more useful if I was using it in just small amounts, and I wanted a really robotic-sounding voice. This one isn't really very robotic at all. Like I said, I had trouble getting it to create a kind of robotic-sounding male voice, but I didn't have a ton of time to test different prompts and variations. And I do think that the voice design feature is going to get more advanced. It's very basic right now, and there are a couple of things, like the way that it disappears if you edit something up here, that I'm going to mention to the team and see if they can work on those. And I'm sure that they're going to continue adapting this so that we have more ways of controlling exactly what a voice sounds like, which will make it even easier to create interesting character voices. If you found this video helpful, please hit the thumbs up and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. I publish at least one video a week on this channel, including software tutorials and reviews, as well as marketing and online business tactics and strategy. And if you're interested in the VoiceWave AI lifetime deal, you can use my affiliate link in the description of this video and get all the details that you might be wondering about there. Also, feel free to leave me a comment if you have a question or if there's something that you'd like to see me address in a future tutorial.